All right, boys, another episode here of In Your 20s show. Go look at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. We don't have OnlyFans yet, but we will get on that soon. Selling our feet, JK. But who do I have the pleasure to be here with?
Yo. I am Tone the Boss from Iowa. I won't say that I call myself this, but a lot of people call me the King of Iowa. So, yeah, what's good?
King of Iowa. So I actually met you Sunday, past couple of days ago at this event. Dude, you had the energy right there. I met you right then and there. Music in the background, so many distractions, baddies here and there. But something about you just like stuck out, like your personality, your energy, which is phenomenal. And dude, you're from Iowa, but born in Chicago, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think that's where the energy came from. I'm finally home. Like, being able to do a show in my, hometown. I call Iowa, Cedar Rapids my hometown, but like my birthplace, being able to do a show here meant the world to me.
So like we chopped it up outside. Why did you leave Chicago, and what part of Chicago were you from?
Yeah, so and I still have family out here, but low end South Side, 35th King Drive. That's where my family was pretty much were born and raised, and I still have family there now. I was taken out of here at an early age. Like, I was very reluctant. I love my city, I love home, and my grandma was here. But we had moved to Iowa. My mom wanted to give us a better life and better education and opportunities out there. And there were so many opportunities. At first, I was hesitant and resistant against it. And then finally, when I became a teenager, I just embraced it. And honestly, since the age of like 14, 15, I've been doing this music and living my dreams. And it's all in thanks to Iowa. I've got my own kid now in Iowa. Later in life, I was able to move my grandma from Chicago to Iowa. And, it's home for me now.
Even though Chicago is like the best city in the whole wide world.
Yeah, I agree.
What did you see like growing up, like that made you or made your family be like, hey, it's just not going to cut it out here?
Yeah. I mean, we lived in the projects. We was in the hood.
Oh,
so,
man.
Even as a kid, you experience that. Like, I was in kindergarten dealing with gang banging and all type of stuff. So it was fights on a regular basis, and shootings were normal outside of even outside the school. Like, it's not the area that we were in is definitely not the place to raise a child. And, at the time, me being a child, and even now, like I said, I have my own kids, and I wouldn't want to raise them in a hostile environment. And Iowa is really a place of not only opportunity, but everybody, they call it Iowa nice. Everybody's friendly. Everybody looks out for each other. You can trust your neighbor. You can leave your door unlocked. You can drop money on the ground and somebody pick it up and hand it to you type.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually friendly.
Yeah.
But you did mention, you said you had to embrace because you were different. What did you mean by that?
Yeah. I mean, just to be like completely honest, like when I was living out here, every kid in my school was a black kid. I moved to Iowa, and I was the only black kid in my class. So it was quite the change. And again, that's why I was hesitant, resistant. But I mean, it kind of helped me become like bilingual. Like, I can communicate with anybody now because of my experience and the way I was raised. I had a very successful life in corporate America. I worked for GoDaddy, and I was one of their top guys. I think I made over $1 million working there for quite some time. And I was able to still walk away from that career and focus on my music. And, I make more doing music, but I'm also spending more time with my family, having more fun, and doing what I love.
So did you graduate high school or?
Yeah, I graduated high school, graduated college. I got an associate's degree in computer science. I actually came back up here and went to the Illinois Institute of Art for digital media production. So I did a couple years out here as well. So, yeah, pretty educated. Now I'm a CEO of my company, T1 Entertainment. You see a chain. And I do promotions. I manage artists. Obviously, I release music myself, but I also help other artists get on the right track, make the right investments, and become successful and find a way to make this their source of income.
So it does explain why you're a DJ, right? You went to the media thing.
Yeah.
But let's just say you didn't go to college. You think you could have been in the same position you are in now without college?
I would have been farther. Yes. I mean, I don't mean to discourage anybody from college, but college and the corporate world is something that you're kind of trained to do. And I excelled at it, but at some point it became boring. My life was a a pattern. It was, I don't know, this might date me, but there's a movie Groundhog Day where you wake up and it's the same every single day, same day. And it just became really repetitive. And I was doing everything everyone said I should do to be successful, owned a huge house, nice cars, had my 9 to 5, had the family life. And it's great. That works for people. And I appreciate that I had that life. But if I didn't take time off and I just focused on music, I would have been miles farther. I would have been able to help more people. I don't regret it. I learned a lot, and everything I learned in school, especially college, I found a way to apply towards the music business anyway. So it definitely helped me. And even my time I did at GoDaddy, I learned a lot there that I apply towards my business and running my small business.
Okay, so then when you graduated college, what made you transition to be like, yo, I'm going to go full on music, DJ?
So I graduate college and then I start the career. So I stayed in IT fields. So it was everything from selling software to antivirus stuff to building websites. And the crazy thing is I learned how to build websites at like 13, 14 years old for my group.
Wow.
I started out in a band, Big Bang, a group of guys, still we're lifelong friends. And now we run a nonprofit organization together. But I learned how to build websites before even going to college, and then I got my degree in it, and then I was able to easily secure a job at the Fortune 500 company, GoDaddy, that sells domains and websites.
So when did you go on like full mode DJing? Like you left GoDaddy and you just said, this is me, this is my time.
I started DJing while still working at GoDaddy. They actually gave me my first opportunity at DJing. That kind of led into, well, if I can DJ, I can play some of these artists' music, even though I wasn't an active artist. The full time that came in 2020. If you remember, there was a little virus going around. The world was shook upside down, and it gave me a lot of perspective. I did an album. It was my first album in like 6 years of just me rapping, but this time it was like a tell-all album called Antonio. I told my story. I went through like a divorce and sold my house, and there was like a natural disaster in Iowa called a derecho, which I never heard of until one destroyed my home. So I went through a lot that year, but it really put things in perspective, and that was when I decided to walk away from GoDaddy, do music full time. I already had the DJing. I had already been successfully running T1 Entertainment for a couple years, helping other artists. But that year I had something to say, so I got back into the music.
So this is actually pretty recently, bro.
Yeah,
this is 4 years. Like
4 years in.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I remember you mentioned too that you opened or you worked with Trippie Redd, right?
Yeah. So that's a couple years in the future. So we dropped the Antonio album, and it was just like, hey, I got something to get off my chest. Let me do this. So I dropped that album. Then my boy and business partner Silence, like, hey, if you're back into music, let's do a joint project. We do the joint project. That does extremely well. And right after that joint project, I got a message on Instagram saying, hey, is this you? I clicked the link, and it's the Golden State Warriors doing, they just won the championship, and they used my song, Give Me My Ring, in the celebration video. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, dang, that's really cool. Somebody did that. I go to the account. It's got 2.4 million followers, and it's the actual Golden State Warriors that posted my song. So at that point, it's like, okay, I'm doing music.
Yeah.
So, so Golden State Warriors used my song. And another cool thing is before they used it, the WNBA used it for the Chicago Sky.
Oh, wow.
And they obviously didn't know that I'm from Chicago, so that meant even more that, my hometown used one of my songs in their championship video. So
how does that work though? Let's just say like payment wise, since they're using it, do they give you like a cut or they just the recognition?
So most of the times it's sync placement.
Okay.
And most of the time they pay you up front, or you get, back end money or something off of the streams or whatnot. Something that I hate to scare anybody away, but the beat that I use for Give Me My Ring is something I bought off of BeatStars. I signed the contract and did not read all the way through the contract. So the producer, he's made for life. he's good. Myself, I get X amount of cents off every stream. I think it's a fraction of a penny. So I got a ton of streams off of it, a ton of views on the video. I think it's over 2 million views on the video alone. So, you know, I got paid that way, but like all the upfront placement and everything goes to the producers. So now I only work with producers that I meet in person. Like I don't do BeatStars or YouTube specifically for that.
So you buy the beats like personally and it's yours, 100% yours.
I gotta know these people. Yeah.
But then again, you can make your own too as well. So
man, I'm not that good.
But okay, so the Golden State Warriors use that. Did they contact you to bring you in or anything?
Yeah. So I contacted the videographers and so forth, and I was like, hey, thanks for using my song. This is gonna change the trajectory of my career. And they're like, well, it wasn't just us. We actually had to run it by the team. So the Golden State Warriors specifically picked my song amongst a very short list. And, you know, there's a million songs released every day. So I think the year before they used like, God, I can't even think of his name. The guy that's with Kanye, like Kid Cudi. So, you know, I'm fighting against the, you know, the Kid Cudis, A-list artists. And they chose my song. And it was the team and the videographers, not just a video team that whipped something together. So that was a big deal. And so I stayed in contact with the videographers, and this is how like crazy like life in the universe is. So Iowa is very green. Like we don't have a lot of music opportunities out there. So when this happened, people even asked me silly stuff like, how much did you have to pay the Golden State Warriors? I'm like, it's $1 billion organization. I have nothing to offer them at all. Even if I was rich, you can't afford to pay them off.
Liver or heart.
Yeah, I don't think that'll do it. And so, but you know, I got the WNBA first, and people were like, well, it's not the NBA. And I was like, yeah, but this is big and huge for my career. Then I got the NBA, and I was like, bam, like, what now? And they're like, well, it's not the NFL. So the way the universe works, I make a song specifically for the NFL. I'm like, if it can get in like Madden or played on a game or played by a team, you know, this would be amazing. The same team that did the video for the Golden State Warriors are from Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl. They asked me if I got a song for them.
2020?
This is
21, right?
Last year. Last year, Kansas City Chiefs won, and they used my next song, Victory Lap.
That was your song?
Yes. Yeah. I'll have to send you links to these, but yeah. Kansas. So now I've done WNBA, NBA, and the NFL.
Bro, that's so... And honestly, the life does work different, man.
Yeah.
4 years.
Had I not went through everything in 2020, I would not have went back to music and tried to be an artist full time. Wouldn't have made the record, wouldn't have done any of this. And then for it to all lead to just bigger and bigger opportunities. And it's still consistently getting me in more places. And it's just networking. Like I'm very, I don't know, I treat people how I want to be treated. So like I reached out to probably everybody on that staff that used the song for Golden State Warriors and just said thank you. I don't want anything. I just want to say thank you. Oh, I appreciate you. They make a post, I'd comment and just support whatever they did because they did something for me that I can never ask anybody to do. Like it's huge. It's one of the biggest honors of my life, literally. And just because of that kindness and the relationship built, when they had an opportunity, they reached out to me, and it's just crazy.
That's so dope. Did they invite you like personally, be like, yo, perform live?
I went to the parade last year, and I got to perform during the parade. There's a whole video. We actually just dropped the video. It was last week. So the beginning of March, we dropped the Victory Lap video. I think we were gonna do something again this year, but there was a big issue at the parade. Because I got a new song that was perfect for it. You know, they're building a dynasty now, and honestly, I was a Bears fan until Kansas City Chiefs used my song. So
I'm assuming the Chiefs invited you to perform, right?
Yeah. Well, this year I had another engagement. And luckily I didn't go because there was like a shooting out there. During the parade. So like. Again, the universe protected me from that because I would have been there in the middle of everything. And I was just booked, and I always honor my commitments, even if it pays less, even if it's not as big of an opportunity. If I tell you, yes, I'm going to be somewhere, I honor that commitment.
You're a man of your word. But during these like parades or like when you were invited, any encounters with like any of the big, athletes there? Any, hey, man,
I
you're
got
dope.
one of the coolest pictures ever. I think it's still my Facebook profile picture of like me and Patrick Mahomes, like
That's dope.
pointing up. It's pretty dope. I think he's holding the trophy and everything. So, yeah, I've met quite a few celebrities in my time. I've got features with everybody from Wiz Khalifa, some G Unit people, Young Money people. My most recent 2 features are this guy that I absolutely big fan of. His name's Fresco Trey out of Memphis. Hell of a singer. He's got like a Post Malone, St. John vibe. We got a new song out that's on my album I'll talk about. And then right before that, I did a record with Trippie Redd.
Trippie Redd.
And this is all just like me networking, like, hey, I've done A, B, C, and D. How can we make a song happen?
Okay.
Trippie Redd charges like $100,000 for a feature now. I can promise you I don't have $100,000, especially not to spit on a feature.
Right.
But, it's just I'm big on networking. I'm big on shaking hands. I want to know everybody, want to know what they do, and I want to support them somehow. And it's not to get something in return, but like 10 out of 10, something good has come back from me just supporting other people.
So like, dude, that's so crazy. That's crazy. It's like not the grades you make, it's the hands you shake.
Ooh,
that's
I haven't heard that one, and that's good.
Well, you went to college, right? So,
they didn't teach me that.
I'm about to graduate in May, but still, like, nice. I feel like I made more connections while doing this than I have in college. Same thing as you did, probably.
Yeah. And that's one thing I missed out in college. So I not only respect you for that, but like applaud and continue to do that. I didn't network in college. I didn't learn the networking aspect of the business I'm in now until fully embracing being an artist.
Okay.
But in college, all these people that's doing what they're doing are going to spread out all over the country and do great things. So if you meet them now, you can only grow with them. Or if somebody ends up in this big spot, maybe they can pull you up, or just, hey, I can introduce you to this one person. That's all I can do. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, and I met you at the event. Like, shout out AJ, musicblog.com and music blog. Shout you out. He's the one pretty much wearing this merchandise right now.
Hey.
We're partnering up and doing something actually really, really big. But dude, no, it's crazy how the universe works.
Yeah.
Because we network together, but on top of that, dude, you've met other people that night too as well.
Yeah.
But let me touch back when you just said with the features. So who was like the first big feature that you had that you were like, dang, I'm doing this for real?
God. My first big one probably was Young Buck from G Unit. He had just dropped an album. I'm a big G Unit fan. I eventually not only had the song with him, but in the last couple years, I booked his DJ Who Kid, and we did a whole mixtape together over classic G Unit beats. But they were like my inspiration. 50 Cent's like my number one inspiration in music, entertainment, and business. So, getting to work with Young Buck, getting to work with their DJ. Hopefully, eventually, I get to work with 50 in some capacity.
Dude, that'll be dope.
I think it's gonna happen because, like, I've been manifesting shit, and like, it's been crazy. But I put something into the universe. I go for it by any and all means, and somehow it happens. So, yeah.
You mentioned Wiz Khalifa. What did you do with him, and how did that happen?
So we did a song, my group, Big Bang. It's a song called Hustling Every Day, and it was so crazy. He had just, I believe, got dropped from Warner Brothers. He had this song, I think it was like Say Yeah, and he had just got dropped. He had got booked for a pool party in Davenport, Iowa. Almost nobody showed up. Nobody knew who he was. But we opened up for him.
Okay.
And I want to shout out my boy Torian Ball. He's the one that put me on it, and he's also on my new album. But Torian, we had worked together. Our first time working together, I was doing a Twista show, and I said, hey, I want to work with you. What can we do to make it happen? He said, can you get me on the Twista show?
Okay.
Most times people are like, yeah, you got to pay me this, you got to pay me that. I was like, nah, just do the show. Let's do a song together and look out for me in the future. We do the song, we do the show. He's like, hey, I told you I'd get you back. Puts me on the Wiz Khalifa show. He's like, you might not know who this guy is, but he's going to blow, I promise. We do the pool party with Wiz Khalifa. He comes back to the studio afterwards. We're just kicking it. He records some records. Guy there like paid for a session. His name was Big Bake. Shout out to him. He later got us on the song with Wiz, and it really, we still get paid from that song today. I think it was maybe 13 years ago, and we still get paid today pretty decent from that one record.
Wait, so this was like when Wiz Khalifa was in his prime, right?
Yeah, well, right before his prime. This is between him getting dropped and between, I think it was like Rolling Papers, like one of his first big
projects.
Yeah.
What? That's actually crazy how the universe works.
Yeah.
Before.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Are you still in contact with him?
No, not at all. He, like you said, he went to his prime right after that.
Yeah.
We caught him at the perfect time. Like, there's a few other people that it's really just timing and also believing in people. We had worked with a legend, Nate Dogg, who passed away, I think, 3 or 4 years after we did the record. Yeah, but it was just, it's a lot of, we just showed up somewhere, we shook someone's hand, they said they're this, we said, yes, you are, let's work together, and then they blew up. We had an opportunity to work with Kendrick Lamar once, and we blew it. So that it drives me nuts. I hate even talking about it, but you know, if we would have, since blowing that opportunity and seeing what he's become, we don't pass on anything or anybody. We make it work. We find a way.
That's crazy because that was like what, 2013, 2014 when you started doing that, and you didn't get your big break in 2021, 2020.
Yeah, I took so much time off, like I said, to focus on a career and family. From 2014, I basically did like a retirement project, and then my life went to, at the time, it seemed like my life went to shit in 2020, and I just needed to write about it and do an album and just tell my story. And that just, like I said, the NBA came after it. My business partners, like, we got to work, and we've had the ball rolling since. Now I tour all over the country. I perform almost every single weekend. I do paid shows. I get my artists paid shows, and we're really doing a lot of big, amazing, crazy things.
So I know you said you mentioned you have a daughter. So doing all these shows, what's like the difficulties or the bump in the road for you to raise a daughter, but also your career going up?
Yeah.
You know?
So I got 2 daughters. I got one that I have full time, Lanaya.
Okay.
And she loves what I do to the point that I've had her do performances with me.
Oh, that's dope.
Where she's like my hype girl. Like, she will do the ad libs, or she will do dances in the background, or she's even done choreography and made up some pretty cool dances to my music. I've got a song on my new album. My new album's called Black Ricardo. Just came out this week, and had a song dedicated to her. So a lot of times if she's with me, I'm gonna do that song, and it's pretty great. It's an emotional record, but you know, she's why I do it. You know, both daughters. I need to be able to make enough money to maneuver, because one daughter lives way in North Dakota. I gotta work harder so I can get over there, see her, support her from afar. And then Naya, we're like best friends. She's the best.
It's cool though, because they look up to you and doing you're living your dream, even though you hit a bump in the road. So that shows them, man. Yeah. You know, but so that's leads up to my next question. How do you make time for family? You know?
Yeah. So I mean, when I'm in Iowa, like I said, I'm a full-time dad. Like, I'm with Naya every day when I'm in Iowa, unless I have a gig. And even when I have gigs, I'll make sure I make time for her throughout the day. And then I DJ like late at night, and then it's usually weekends. This is just Friday, Saturday. So, you know, while she's at school, I'm on my grind. I'm on my social medias. I'm making content. When she's out of school, we're going to trampoline parks. We're playing video games together. We're hanging out. But yeah, or I spend a lot of time in the studio, and she likes being in the studio with me now. So that's been a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, family is the most important thing, period. And the time that you can spend with your family is extremely important. But it is also important to chase your dreams and make sure you're doing stuff that's fulfilling. Like I said, I spent, I'd say about 6-7 years just doing the family life thing. And it's great, but also it becomes repetitive, and you get to a point where you're with somebody, and it's like, do you put your dreams to the side to make sure they're happy and that, you know, home is good, or do you do the things that make you happy and then bring that happiness back to everybody else? I had to learn that the hard way, that you got to go out there, get it, be positive, stay focused, and then bring your happiness to other people instead of trying to build a happiness out of, you know, misery or whatever you can call it.
So this is like a personal question though. So like, I'm assuming that the divorce led because you chased your dreams, right?
Something like that. I mean, there was a lot. I mean, DJing, you're out a lot. There's a lot of alcohol and women around. Never cheated or anything like that, but it's just a lifestyle. So, I definitely know I was at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm drinking too much. I'm staying out late way too much. My ex was very supportive of my dream and my music, but I wasn't going nearly as hard, especially for myself, back then. And it's because like I gotta, provide, and I gotta be here, and I've gotta work at GoDaddy and work these extra hours to support this house and everything. So, being a successful rapper is completely out the question. You can't come home and be like, well, I want to be a rapper. It's just not an option. So I wouldn't say that the divorce came from me chasing my dream, but because I've got a divorce, I was able to fully embrace and focus on my dream and achieve bigger success than I've ever imagined.
Dude, that's beautiful. So after 2021, 2022, what led to Trippie Redd's then opening? Like how, what, and why?
So I think this was probably before, no, it was after the NFL. So at this point, if I can accomplish getting my songs on the NBA and the NFL and the highest caliber, there's really nothing out of my reach. So the question was, who's the biggest artist at the time that probably I normally couldn't reach, but I just had all this confidence.
Yeah.
We reached out to quite a few people, and we got a hold of somebody on Trippie's team, and they had a verse. I haven't met him. I don't know him. I can't text Trippie. Most of these artists that I'm working with now, though, we're like talking every day. So it's levels to it, but I'm very grateful that I did get the record, got to work with them, and I think it may be my highest streamed record right now. It's called Fun Dip.
Okay.
But Tone the Boss, Trippie Redd. It's just been doing amazing numbers. So shout out to Trippie Redd. And I mean, it's just networking, man. It wasn't I didn't stumble upon them. I didn't go to a concert and say, hey, how can I get a verse? It was just, hey, who does he follow? What's that person do? What's his role? Okay, they're on the team. Message every last person from the team. Introduce yourself. Build a relationship. Don't just jump out the gate like, hey, I want a verse from Trippie Redd. Like, no, hey, man, I'm telling him I'm doing music. Got any advice? Oh, okay, you produce for Trippie Redd. What do you sell beats for? Okay, cool. Hey, after building a relationship, buying beats, like, okay, hey, are you ever in the studio with him? What's it take to get a verse? And oh, it's $100,000. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's out of the budget. It's like, but we've got some stuff that we've had that was like throwaway. If you'd be interested in any of it, much more reasonable price. And we made it happen.
That's dope. So what's your key advice then for someone to start networking, or how to network?
It's really having the confidence in yourself, believing in yourself, knowing that you have the product and you can back what you say. Like, once you have that energy where you can just walk up to anybody and network and make the room your room, then there's nothing that's not possible. Like, everything's possible at that point. Like I said, I'm just a dude living in Iowa, and to be, chosen for the NBA and NFL all within pretty much a year, it's unheard of. Like, mainstream artists don't get that same opportunity,
right.
And I'm just a guy in Iowa. So, shake as many hands as you can, put out your content, have a resume, but go in the room. Sometimes it's not always about what you can say or even bragging about your accomplishments. Sometimes it's just sitting there and listening to somebody else's story, and being a friend, or, just, oh, I can help you with that. Like, try to help someone before you ask them for something, and you usually get a lot farther.
That's nuts, man. So I was going to say to you, like, what are the next big projects that you have planned for yourself?
So right now, like I said, we just dropped an album, Black Ricardo. It's got my song Victory Lap that was on the NFL. It's got a song with Fresco Trey, which is called Wasn't Ready. It's got a song with Torian Ball. He really blew up. We kind of grew up together. So, and then Semi 16 is another guy out of Atlanta. It's just a culmination of me evolving as an artist and as a person. It's more laid back. It's more chill. It's more R&B vibes mixed with the rap. So yeah, Black Ricardo's out now. Before I dropped Black Ricardo, I started doing an EP every month is my goal for 2024. So I did a project with my boy Shy Songwriter. It's called Variants. We dropped that in January. That is going crazy on like TikTok, just the songs that we're doing. So shout out to Shy. January was Variants with Shy Songwriter. February, which was Black History Month, we did Black Ricardo. March, we are celebrating 6 years as a company. And we are doing an album called T1 All Stars.
Okay.
It's going to have some of the T1 guys that's been a part of the company, whether they've been an artist or on the business side of it. We're trying to get everybody on there to do one project, and we're going to drop that at the end of the month. And we're going to use some of the songs that have the highest streams already.
Okay.
So before it already drops, we'll have a platinum album.
So I asked you that question because you said in Iowa you're doing like, you already throw events, right? Like you're starting it over there.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So some of the events we throw are Iowa Summer Jam and the Iowa Music Awards. So I think that's why, people have dubbed me King of Iowa, because like I'm all about giving back. Like I want people to win. I want them to look like and feel like the stars that they are. Okay. So Iowa Summer Jam is something where we showcase the biggest artists in Iowa, all genres, and we have people all over the Midwest reach out to be a part of the event. So Iowa Summer Jam we'll be doing in July. Like I mentioned, we've got the anniversary party the end of March. We're actually bringing out a big star, DJ Luke Nasty. Okay. It's going to be, I just literally got the text that he's going to fly in to be a part of the anniversary party.
Dope.
So that is March 29th. And then the Iowa Music Awards, I think it was yesterday I confirmed, October 27th in Cedar Falls, Iowa. This will be our third annual Iowa Music Awards. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Dude, that's so cool. That's so dope. So who's someone that you would want to collab with, or in someone who you would want them to come over there to one of your Iowa events?
50 Cent. 50 Cent. Put it out there. We already spoke on him. Let's speak it into existence. Like I said, I'm big on manifestation. So yeah, let's get 50 out there. He's been to Iowa a couple of times promoting his alcohol. Maybe I could work out some type of alcohol deal with him and get him to sponsor or even shout out the event or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking big at this point. Anybody below 50 Cent, I can reach. I will reach if that's what we want to make happen. Like I'm not only determined, and I don't want to sound cocky, but I have that confidence that we've worked hard enough, not just me or my team, but like Iowa, to be more than what people thought was like a flyover state. Like we are making our own Iowa music industry, and there's so many hardworking, talented artists out there. I just want to kick the door open and then let everybody flood it.
So let's just say 50 Cent does reach out to you. How would you approach it? What would you pitch to him? And he just, what would you tell him that you would want to make with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a businessman. I've read at least 3 of his books. Oops, sorry about that.
Is the camera still leveled up?
Yeah, my bad.
No, but
yeah. So I would approach it as a business deal. Like, hey, I know you've got this liquor brand. We're looking for a sponsor at this event. This is how many eyes are on the event. It's going to be broadcasted on television. 100,000 people in Iowa are going to view this. 1,000 people in attendance. It'd be an honor to have you here, support your brand, and help you build something. Okay. As long as it's something where it helps him. I can't just say, hey, I'm your biggest fan. I'd love if you came here. How much do you charge? Well, he's going to charge something outside of my budget, number one. Yeah. And number two, like, he's a businessman. We're all businessmen. And 100%. Everything that we do should kind of either reflect our brand or, honestly, I like even last night I went out and went crazy and made this crazy TikTok, which doesn't necessarily reflect my brand, but it shows who I am as an individual, and I like to have fun, and I like for my friends to have a good time. So, we are individuals outside of our brand, but at the same time, we all have businesses, and we all are just trying to make it one way or another. Even the people that are rich and well off, they still want to get bigger and grow. So make some incentive for everybody, and I think 50 could understand that. That
is actually true. Authenticity is key, though. So when you're picking out these talents and then, you start your business, how do you bet on someone or invest in someone and you believe in them? Like, what's the vision or the techniques or strategy you use to know that someone has that?
Well, I was going to give one answer, but there is definitely multiple answers to this because I've worked with artists that, I didn't believe in them right away. They believed in themselves enough.
Okay.
But I love working with an artist that doesn't believe in themselves in the beginning. And then I'm able to help them build that confidence, show them what they're capable of, and kind of let them do their own thing. So One of my favorite artists that I'm working with right now, it's a group called Maddie Block Music.
Okay.
All the confidence in the world, the big gorillas in the room. And when we first got together, it's like, hey man, I'm a gangster. I'm in these streets. I see you doing your nonprofit and you're on the news and you're donating to the kids and stuff. That ain't what we do. We're Maddie Block. We're, and they stand on business. They are who they say they are. And I was like, I understand that. I respect that. But some of these opportunities that I'm going to present to you are going to be community based because the community is important. And I'll break down over the next couple months why. As I break down and get those barriers, literally in the last week, they're on the news talking. They're doing free haircuts at the school, and they're giving back, and they're still true to themselves. But I think I helped them understand the importance of community, giving back, being active, and it's just helping everybody. We're all growing from this. So
that's so cool. So you said you have 6 years in your business, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming you started generating like a nice amount of income. Do you think, this is another personal question, not personal because I feel like people should know, like at least my generation, does it fill a void or make you actually bring happiness to you once you start, making more than you thought you would?
I don't even want to say I'm bad with money. I have a way to, when I want to do something, I will get the funds to do it. I'll work for it or have some type of opportunity. I step up to make things happen. I don't let financial barriers stop me, and I'm not checking my bank accounts every day. I just spend. I have, luckily this shit doesn't decline, but I just do what I want to do.
Right.
And when I know it's a bigger purchase, I work to get to there.
Okay.
What really fulfills me and gives me that sense of satisfaction and gratitude and happiness is honestly helping somebody else. I know that might be corny or it sound like, oh, he's lying, he's being too humble, but literally, Iowa Summer Jam is huge, and I perform there, not every year, but I try to perform if I can, if there's enough time. But just seeing everybody else and them being in that spotlight and them perform in front of their audience, people have shot some of the coolest music videos, and all the audience have their phones out and they just treat them like celebrities. That feels so good to me. And then Iowa Music Awards, giving somebody the opportunity to speak and give them their flowers for their hard work, and Lifetime Achievement Awards and, Album of the Year, stuff like that. And for a while, we were just doing music and not getting recognition. There was no next thing. There was nothing to work for.
Okay.
So I love not only giving somebody an opportunity to work towards something, but what I love more is rewarding them for their hard work. So it's definitely not money. Money's great. Obviously you need it.
Yeah.
It's not, it's probably number 5 on my priority list. Helping people is probably number 1 or 2. It's family, helping people, everything else after that, having fun.
No, that's an honest answer, because the more people I start interviewing that that are actually up there making real money, like yourself, they never speak about money. That's the last thing on their mind.
When you chase money, that's when all the real bad stuff happens. That's when you're in bad situations. That's when you're desperate. That's when you're making not the greatest. You're not making the greatest choices. It's about getting to that next dollar, and I just can't move that way. I don't have the desire. I don't want to chase it. I just want to live a good life, help as many people as I can, leave a legacy, and continue to inspire people is my job, my goal. As a artist, friend, Iowan, father, I just want to inspire people.
Well, bro, you've been doing this probably more than 15 years, and if you were chasing money, you would have quit by now, right?
Oh,
I feel
yeah, man.
So
that's one thing about the music industry. It if anything, it's a bottomless pit. There's always another investment. Free isn't free, But invest in yourself. Invest in what makes you happy. Don't invest. I wouldn't even call it. You're investing in your happiness, not investing to get a return. This isn't stocks and bonds. This is investing in yourself and in your presentation and your commitment to what you love and your passion.
Okay. And just to wind it down now, man, what is one piece of advice you would want to give to someone starting in this industry?
Build a team. And it doesn't need to be your friends. Just because they're friends, do not expect them to support you. I think I I got lucky. All my friends literally do support me. They've either been to a DJ gig, invested in something with me, just showed up or shared the music. So I got lucky. I'm very blessed with that. But I also think that comes from me just how I operate as a human being, as a friend. But a lot of people get discouraged when their friends don't show up or when their friends aren't sharing their music. Those don't need to be your fans. Those don't need to be your supporters. Find your audience, but stay true to yourself while you try to find it. People that are like you are out there. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Somebody's going to like your music. So keep doing it till you find those people. Stop trying to make it out of the people around you just because that's who you know.
Brother, thank you. Thank you for hopping on and sharing your story, man. Especially since you're from Iowa, but still born and raised over here, man. Yeah. If you want to shout out your socials, where they can find you, and dude, shout out everything, man. Your feed finder, whatever you have.
For sure. OnlyFans. All right. So I am Tone the Boss, ToneDaboss. My Instagram is at DJ Tone the Boss, but it's Tone the Boss everywhere else. TikTok, Facebook, X, everything Tone the Boss. My company is T1 Entertainment. If you guys ever want to come to Iowa, do a show, set up a booth and do podcasts, we've got something every single month. We're networking. We want to work with everybody. We want to help as many people as we can, provide a huge platform. This is what we do. Top tier everything.
Thank you, man. Also, to go check out me and George podcast. We just popped that out like a couple of days ago too as well. Shout out AJ Music Blog. Also too for like networking, making this happen too as well. Else we would have locked this in. We would have never locked in this interview. But guys, check it out. It's gonna be on Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram. You check it out. YouTube is too as well. So thank you guys, and thank you, bro, too, for hopping on.